Even $100,000 or more out of your home, and the payments are crazy low. Think what you can do with $100,000 right now. Loan Pronto makes unlocking your equity easy, and they can probably even waive the appraisal fee. Don't let all the home equity pile up. Turn your house into an ATM machine and get the cash you need. Call Loan Pronto now, 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. You can also reach Loan Pronto at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. The sports world keeps spinning, and the local conversation continues. Now, Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Thursday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. We are that much closer to preseason. Game number 3 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. In fact, the preseason week begins in the National Football League right now. Chicago and Seattle. There's nothing quite like settling in to watch preseason action where Geno Smith is going to be the starting quarterback of one of the teams involved. Of course, it was that same Geno Smith that gave the Jaguars the beating last year in Seattle. We'll see a little bit of Justin Fields tonight, so Chicago and Seattle. We'll keep you updated as to what is going on. We got a lot to get into tonight, no question about it. Coming up at 8:35, about a half an hour from now, Josh Pate. Josh Pate does a terrific job talking college football. He has the Late Kick Live YouTube broadcast, the Late Kick podcast as well. We will talk Florida, Florida State, Miami, Georgia, and a little college football playoff preview with Josh Pate of the Late Kick Live show coming up in about a half an hour. Coming up around 9 o'clock, Kevin Mays, the head coach of Baker County, as they're getting ready to start their season. 1 week from tomorrow night is week 1 of the high school football regular season. In fact, there are some preseason kickoffs tonight and many, many preseason kickoff games tomorrow. We will tell you all about them. 9:15, my buddy Leon Searcy. You get him every day on XL Primetime. You'll also get him with me during the football season on the 5th quarter. We'll talk a little Jags and Steelers with one of the best Jags offensive linemen ever, my buddy Leon Searcy. And then finally, Gator fans, at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour, a nice trip down memory lane. Webb, former All-SEC performer for the Florida Gators, a standout high school player here in town at Ed White. His cousin Trayon Webb has recently committed to the University of Florida. We'll talk about a lot of topics revolving around the orange and blue with former Gator Webb. That is coming up about 9:30 this evening. As we do every night on Hacker After Dark, we kick it off with a big deal of the night. Dylan Denmark, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, everybody's talking about it, so we'll spend some time on it as well. That is Deshaun Watson. The NFL has come back. It is an 11-game suspension for Deshaun Watson. He is fined $5 million. And I got to tell you, the backlash that the National Football League is getting over this is pretty telling. You go on social media right now, you will see a ton of people just annihilating the NFL for this decision. Prime example, all I do, I search Deshaun Watson on Twitter. First thing that pops up, NFL suspensions recently. Vontaze Burfict got 12 games for targeting. DeAndre Hopkins, 6 games for PEDs. Josh Gordon has been suspended 76 games in his career for marijuana. Deshaun Watson gets 11 games for 24 sexual misconduct lawsuits. Yikes. And these are by respected members of the media. Here's Robert Griffin III on Twitter earlier today. The NFL had an opportunity to show it had learned from its ugly history on standing up for women in this Deshaun Watson case, and it failed. 11 games and $5 million doesn't fit what he was accused of doing and found to have done by Judge Sue Robinson, absolutely sickening. And you go on and on and on, people not happy with the decision by the National Football League. I thought he was going to get a year. I thought a year was warranted. He gets 11 games. The 11 games thing bothers me a lot, and I'll tell you why. The NFL, that's a weird number to pick, right? 11 games. Not 5 games, 8 games, 10 games, 12 games. They picked 11 games. Do you know who the 12th team, the 12th game the Cleveland Browns play? They play in Houston against the Texans. Their 12th game of the year. So Deshaun Watson's first game back off this suspension just so happens to be at Houston taking on the Texans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is too much of a coincidence for me. That is not a good look. That is going to be a much anticipated, much hyped, much discussed game that the NFL will benefit from. Deshaun Watson's return in almost 2 years. Now is the Cleveland Browns quarterback, assuming he starts that game, and they gave him $250 million. You would think he would start. And the NFL has decided that, yeah, we're going to suspend you just up to the point before Cleveland has to go to Houston. But now you can come back and play against your former team. That's interesting. And I haven't really heard anybody else talk about that. Maybe they have. But that, to me, just smells a little bit. The $5 million fine, what's $5 million to Deshaun Watson? I mean, it's a good chunk of change, sure. The guy just signed a $250 million contract. Deshaun Watson was asked why he settled those lawsuits. He said he stands on his innocence, which is another thing he was getting ripped for today. But at some point, you got to move on. At some point, life has to go on. He also referred to himself in the third person a bunch today at his press conference. It's just not a good look. But that's the decision the NFL has made. Deshaun Watson actually apologized to everybody involved and for those that it, quote, triggered. Well, what does that mean? Why are you apologizing to all those involved if you, quote, stand on your innocence? Again, the whole thing is just not a good look. It's not a good look for the NFL. It's not a good look for Deshaun Watson, and it's not a good look for the Cleveland Browns. But as they say, it is what it is. So now we are a sports radio program. Let's bring it into the world of sports. Cleveland's got a really good roster with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper, David Njoku, Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, Denzel Ward. Good players, man. So what do? Can they survive 3 months without Deshaun Watson? Jacoby Brissett's on the roster, and I guess that's what they're going with. Unless, and we talked about this last week, we had Scott Petrak on, my man in Cleveland, brownzone.com. He brought up the point that there are no mulligans in the NFL. You can't just waste a year. Myles Garrett will be a year older. Kareem Hunt's a free agent. You can't just say, 2022, we don't have a quarterback. Let's forget about it. We'll see in 2023. The NFL doesn't work like that. Will Cleveland call San Francisco about Jimmy Garoppolo? Do they need to call San Francisco about Jimmy Garoppolo? Is that a better option than Jacoby Brissett? And what I think would be fascinating, again, Garoppolo was within 10 minutes of going to the Super Bowl last year. Keep that in mind. And he went to the Super Bowl, a couple of years ago. He's almost played in 2 Super Bowls. What if Cleveland does do that? What if they do trade for Garoppolo? And he's got him at 7-4, 8-3. Do you yank Jimmy Garoppolo to put Deshaun Watson in? You could almost say the same logic with Jacoby Brissett, although I don't believe Brissett would get them to that record. Brissett started a lot of games. He's average. Garoppolo, to me, would be a better option. But from a strictly football standpoint, if you're Cleveland, do you go after Jimmy Garoppolo? I think that's certainly something they got to ask themselves now, because I don't think they can survive in the standings in the AFC or the AFC North with Deshaun Watson missing 11 games. And again, just an incredible, ironic twist of fate, right? That the game he happens to be eligible for, Game 12, just happens to be in Houston against the Texans. 641-1010 is the phone number if you want to get involved on the phone line or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You are more than welcome to do so. Some Jaguar news today as well. Devin Lloyd, James Robinson, looks like both will not go against Pittsburgh on Saturday. Although Doug Peterson does think both guys should be ready for the opener. If James Robinson plays in the opener against Washington, that's incredible. The guy tore his Achilles basically around Christmas. And now here we are with a legitimate chance that he's going to play in the opener less than 9 months later. The absolute miracles of modern medicine and science. An Achilles back in the day meant a year, if not your career. Achilles injuries ended careers 10, 15 years ago. And now you got guys that may only miss 8 or 9 months and are right back out there. It's nuts. So we'll see. But again, no James Robinson, no Devin Lloyd. That's a shame with Devin Lloyd, because you got to start wondering, are they going to feel comfortable enough, they being the Jaguars, are they going to feel comfortable enough to put the rookie out there in Washington if he hasn't played any of the preseason? I wouldn't. Maybe Devin Lloyd gets some good work against Atlanta, but the issue would be, is he on the field with Aluakan? Is he on the field with Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker? Is he building that chemistry with the guys he will actually be on the field with? Are you going to throw Devin Lloyd out there if you're not playing a lot of your other starters in the final preseason game? Those are all questions for next week. The question right now is the Jaguars and the Steelers on Saturday night. The starters are going to play into the second quarter, and hopefully we see more of the same from the first-string offense and the first-string defense, and hopefully we see a much better performance from the backups, because the backups last week were simply not very good. Another piece of NFL news, it appears Baker Mayfield will be the starter in Carolina. What an unbelievable indictment of Sam Darnold. An unbelievable indictment of Sam Darnold. The number 3 pick in the 2018 draft. When did Baker Mayfield get to Carolina? 4 weeks ago?
See Baker Mayfield throw 4 passes, but I get to see this homeless guy return a ball for a touchdown.
Oh, there you go. Baker Mayfield got there 4 or 5 weeks ago, and he's going to be the starter for Carolina. Kudos to Baker Mayfield. By the way, man, what if he turns out to be good for Carolina? He's due a contract at the end of this year. It's a contract year for Baker Mayfield. That'll be a fascinating story to watch there in Charlotte. As always, Jacksonville, we are streaming on the phone lines. We are streaming on YouTube and on Twitter. Hacker After Dark. I wish we could stream on the phone lines. That would be something. We are streaming on Twitter at 1010XL is the Twitter handle. You can also catch us on YouTube on the 1010XL YouTube channel. We'll be streaming until 10 o'clock tonight, as we always do on Hacker After Dark. Coming up next, I've had an interesting day. A lot of things have bothered me. I want to tell you about my drive to work. It included the longest horn honk of my life and the double bird. If that's not a tease, I don't know what is. If that doesn't keep you here for the next 5 minutes, I don't know what will. It was an amazing drive to work in a full-blown monsoon at about 3:45 this afternoon on Phillips Highway. We'll get to that, and we'll get to CBS and the Big Ten and what I think is an absolute travesty in collegiate sports. Hacker After Dark on a Thursday. Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us.
Serving one of the fastest growing cities in America.
It don't get no better than this.
I guess it's no longer a best kept secret. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Attention all current lease owners. Before you turn in your vehicle, come get a free appraisal and equity evaluation at Key Buick GMC. Key can pay off your lease early. Do not wait. Now is the time to go to Key Buick GMC. They are currently buying all makes and models. The market conditions are increasing the value of your vehicle each and every day, so come see what your car is worth. Ask for Derek or Steve. That's Key Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate, or go to keybuickgmc.com.
Googans, do you suffer with neck or back pain? My friend Dr. Alan Nathans at Disc Centers of America on Bay Meadows Road helps people diagnosed with bulging, herniated, and degenerated discs, sciatica, or stenosis. Dr. Nathans uses that DRX 9000 non-surgical spinal decompression table to gently unbulge and unherniate discs that are causing sciatica. Don't do another cortisone injection. Stay active and healthy as you get older. Dancing at 50, golf at 60, the river run at 70. Yes, yes, and yes. DrNathans.com.
Answer this question for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400, August 27th at Daytona. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win.
Tom Casey here with Griffin Service. As I look around Jacksonville, I see plumbing that could be held together better by duct tape, electrical work that can double as a shock collar, and AC work I know costs an arm and a leg on your utility bill. Save $1 today, but it costs you $10 down the road. At Griffin, we don't think you want, or maybe even know, you're hiring El Cheapo and cut rate work. So, if you need plumbing, AC, or electrical help, and you want it done right, call
GriffinService.com
and know you're getting the best.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jeweler for 45 years with GIA-certified diamonds and gemstones, fashion jewelry in gold, and the latest styles. Also know that we have a full-service jewelry repair and restoration department, and our jewelers can get most repairs done in a couple of days. If you need a ring-sized or stone replaced or chain repaired, we can do it. Monahan's also buys gold and diamonds, so bring those in and we'll pay you top dollar. And remember, we can finish most jewelry repairs in a day or two. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey for Accelerated Tax Solutions. Who do you trust when dealing with the IRS? You can't trust them to do things right by you. You need a reliable advocate, a real team of local experts on your side, led by attorneys, a group with leadership, having combined 35 plus years of experience helping people just like you resolve their tax issues. Don't wait. Call Accelerated Tax Solutions today. You can trust my friends. That's Accelerated Tax Solutions. Accelerate your tax solutions with Accelerated Tax Solutions.
This is Brent Musburger. VSiN's 2022 College Football Betting Guide is a must-have betting resource with 330 pages of analysis, trends, and best bets. The full guide is only available at vsin.com, but download a free special edition at 1010xl.com. In-depth expert analysis of the Gators, Bulldogs, Seminoles, and Hurricanes. It's absolutely free, but only at 1010xl.com.
It's 1010xl.com.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may need expert help clearing space. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of clean out at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
Keeping your body healthy and active leads to a more vibrant life. A great place to do that is the First Coast YMCA. The Y is equipped with state-of-the-art cardio and strength equipment, plus group exercise studios where trainers host activities like yoga, Zumba, and cycling sessions. The full-court basketball gym and indoor 5-lane swimming pool are open year-round. The Kid Zone can keep an eye on your kids while you work on that dad bod. And it's all available with your family membership. Learn more at fcymca.org.
Russ Libby here from Hidden Hills Golf Club, letting you know that active and retired military receive special discounts on golf every day of the week. Please visit our website at hiddenhillsgc.com And thanks for your service to our country.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Regular movement is key to so many health benefits. Aim for at least 10,000 steps a day. Decide to only take the stairs if you're walking less than 6th floor. Never park in the first 10 spaces of the parking lot. Walk during your work breaks. Get up 10 minutes earlier in the morning and take a short, brisk walk before the chaos of the day starts. There are so many easy ways to stay active. Let's get moving, Jacksonville.
You'll hear Pete Prisco, senior NFL writer for CBS Sports, every Friday on The Frangie Show, brought to you by Showtime, Sports Cards and Collectibles.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. After Dark on 1010XL.
Oh, yeah. If that doesn't get you fired up, Denmark, just let that run for a little bit here.
Play the song of my funeral, Hag.
You know, the day started off so good, right? I got out of bed, had a delicious cup of coffee. Got some work done early this morning. Took my son to Grandma's house. It was a delightful start to the day. And then I get home and I see CBS Sports tweet out this song that every college football fan in Jacksonville, Florida has lived and died with for 25 years, if you're a Florida fan, a Georgia fan, Tennessee, whomever. And they tweeted this song out to the Big Ten coming to CBS.
Better get used to it.
I saw Indiana. I saw Maryland. Boy, that'll get you fired up hearing this song when Indiana takes on Maryland in a Big Ten matchup in November. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, yeah, I know. But look, the SEC's going to ESPN and ABC. How do you not buy this song from CBS? Maybe CBS didn't want to sell it. I don't know. But that just got me in a horrific mood all day. You don't play that song at 3:30 on a Saturday that we've heard for 25 years before the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, that we've heard Florida, Tennessee back in the days of Spurrier and Fulmer, that we've heard before the Iron Bowl, Alabama and Texas A&M, Alabama, LSU, the great rivalries in these cathedrals, in these SEC stadiums. That song has been a part of the Southeastern Conference for 25 years. And now, because of TV contracts and whatnot, that song is going to be played before Rutgers takes on Minnesota. It's absolutely a travesty. I've been unhappy about it the entire day. I know I shouldn't let little things bother me, but I don't think this is a little thing. I think this is just a situation where somebody somewhere dropped the ball with contracts. A song that popular should not be wasted on another conference. And it just made me feel uncomfortable watching that video. It made me lose a piece of my college football humanity. It's unfortunate. I'll try to get through it. We'll enjoy the SEC on CBS this year. But how that song is not coming with CBS, I'll never know. Or the SEC, I'll never know. We're going to play it on Hacker After Dark, previewing all the SEC matchups. As long as I'm on the air, that's our song. It's kind of like John Tesh, right? The John Tesh radio show. You know, he's the guy that wrote that NBA on NBC song. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So no matter what song accompanies the NBA now, I always think of John Tesh as the NBA song guy. That, to me, is the SEC song. So, again, I don't care that that's going to be played before Michigan, Ohio State. We're going to continue playing it when we discuss Southeastern Conference football. I wonder if you are as broken up about that as I am. 641-1010 on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. So my day was already off to an interesting start because of that. But I got a question out there for the good men and women of the JSO. And I mean this. I don't know if it's illegal. I don't know what you can do about it. Can you actually write a ticket or a citation for a driver just being a moron? And again, I don't know if what this person I'm about to explain to you, what they did, if that's illegal or not. But it was darn sure stupid. And I wonder if you can write a ticket for stupidity. So I'm traveling down Phillips Highway today, right about 3:45. Had to come into work, do a couple of things early, then prepare for this quality Hacker After Dark broadcast. By the way, about a Category 4 hurricane is going on as I'm driving down Phillips Highway. It was raining like nobody's business on the south side of Jacksonville. So combine the monsoon that was going on with the story that I'm about to tell you. There is some sort of school on Phillips Highway. It's like a science school or something, which is cool. Go learn. You know, I got no problem with that, absolutely. Whatever. I wasn't a science guy, but if you are, that's great. But I guess these are parents that were picking up their kids. And the parking lot is jam-packed back out to Phillips Highway. You cannot get into this parking lot. It is literally impossible. I guess because of the monsoon, because of the unnamed hurricane we had at 3:45 on Phillips Highway, you just simply could not get into this parking lot. I thought there was a wreck, but no, it was traffic from this school. All right, understandable. Here's what's not understandable. And here's where I need the help of the JSO on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. If somebody is at a red light making a left-hand turn into a parking lot that is jam-packed and there is nowhere for them to go, they obviously see that it's jam-packed. You could not have missed it. They make a left turn to try to get into this parking lot, and in doing so, they blocked both lanes of Phillips Highway traffic going the opposite direction. Both lanes. It takes a lot for me to get riled up. I've never had road rage. I'm like Morgan Freeman in Driving Miss Daisy, all right? I'm a hands at 10 and 2 guy. In a 45, I might live dangerously and go to 47 every once in a while. I'm that guy. But when there were two cars, actually. When these two cars made a left turn to where they knew they could not get into the parking lot, when they made that selfish decision to do that, to block both lanes of Phillips Highway traffic, I sat there for 5 minutes because I could not get around them. Keep in mind the absolute monsoon that's going on. I haven't honked my horn, Denmark, in 5.5 years. Oh, it was more than that. I blared on this horn for a solid 20 seconds. I might have made some gestures that weren't exactly kid-friendly. I just could not believe for the life of me that anybody would be that selfish to do that.
You see, I hate train horns, but in those instances, that's when you need one.
Absolutely incredible.
I mean, just blow their eardrums out.
So again, I don't know if it's illegal what they did. It was damn sure stupid what they did. So as a member of the JSO, if somebody's doing that, blocking 2 lanes of traffic by being an idiot, is that a ticketable offense, I guess? Can you write a citation for that? I'm just curious. And by the way, I was not the only person blaring my horn. It was a symphony of car horns. I did not feel sorry for this person at all. They knew the parking lot was jam-packed, and they made the decision to turn left to block both lanes of traffic on Phillips Highway. So the fact that they were getting the business from every other car out there, myself included. Good. Right on. They deserve it. Oh, it was so frustrating. Just have a little bit more courtesy for your common man. If you know you can't turn into the parking lot and you know you're going to be stuck out in the road, what the hell are you doing trying to turn? Good grief. Anyway, 641-1010 is the phone number. If you want to get involved in the program, you are more than welcome to do so. I did see this, too, back to the college football talk for a moment. By the way, Josh Pate, Late Kick Live, the Late Kick podcast, he does a terrific job covering the world of college football. He'll be up here with us in about less than 10 minutes or so. I did see the national championship game sites have been announced for the next, 4 years. L.A. this year, Atlanta, and Miami have been announced for the 2024 and 2025 seasons, respectively. Alabama is already in the game. We're yet to be determined who their opponent is. We know Alabama will be there, right? They always are. So Alabama and an opponent to be determined will play for the national title in Atlanta in 2024, and I think in Miami in 2025. 641-1010 is the phone number. We are absolutely loaded up tonight on the guest line. Josh Pate coming up. We're going to talk Florida. We're going to talk Florida State. A little bit of Georgia. A little bit of Miami. We'll also do a little college football playoff talk, a very early look at the college football playoff. Is it the regular participants? Is it as simple as Alabama, Ohio State, maybe Georgia? Is there anybody in the Pac-12 that could crash the party? Is there anybody in the Big 12 that could crash the party? Is there any foreseeable chance that Michigan and Ohio State could both get in? Who are the best teams in college football this year? I know Alabama's won. They came out as number 1 in the AP poll earlier this week. We'll talk to Josh Pate about all that. He's next. Hacker After Dark on a Thursday here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Just a well-executed play by our offense.
He's got the catch. That's inside the 5-yard line. First down and more. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! Trevor Lawrence to Evan Ingram for the score.
Evan's just a good athlete.
Helps a lot when you can turn those field goals into touchdowns.
Those are the things you want to see.
Whether it's a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, whatever it is next week, be ready to play the whole game.
Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Saturday at 7 on 1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
What QC Kinetics is doing for people right now is nothing short of amazing. Hey, it's Leon Searcy here. If you got joint pain, any pain, you need to call QC Kinetics. They are the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics is in Mandarin and now in Ponte Vedra as well. They're growing because demand for these treatments is off the charts. Modern advances in regenerative medicine allows these medical professionals to take remarkable healing properties from your own body, concentrate them with maximum power, and put them directly into your aching joints so your damaged tissues can be repaired and restored naturally. So many people in Jacksonville are living their best life again, pain-free, thanks to QC Kinetics. If you have pain in your knees, hip, back, shoulders, don't let them keep you on steroids, and don't believe surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics now. It's a totally free consultation in 2 convenient locations, Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. Call 904-274-5522, 904-274-5522.
There's still time to purchase your tickets for the Summer Nights presented by 1-2-1 Financial. Enjoy an evening affair benefiting Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida as you enjoy delicious foods from local restaurants like Orsay, craft cocktails, fine wine, and craft beer while dancing to live music from the Bold City Classics. Summer Nights will be held Saturday, August 27th at the Glass Factory. Purchase your tickets at tinyurl.com/1010 Summer Nights.
Congratulations to Exit Real Estate Gallery and their continued support of the Jacksonville Jaguars. As a proud partner since 2016, Exit's unwavering commitment to the Jaguars illustrates their commitment to the North Florida community. A trusted local leader in real estate, Exit's footprint spans throughout the region with 7 offices and over 400 realtors to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to sell, buy, or rent local real estate, an Exit agent is always available to assist.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
To register for Police Athletic League flag football, cheerleading, and boxing, go to jaxpalsports.org.
The National Virtual Career Fair for military spouses, dependents, and veterans is Tuesday, August 16th. Go to recruitmilitarycareerco.com.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
Play poker and help families in the Hold'em for Life Texas Hold'em Poker Tournament. Saturday, September 17th at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall. Call 847-778-8824.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjax.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Tacos and sports go hand in hand, literally. You can watch the game with a taco in each hand or with a taco in one hand and a tennis racket in the other. Don here from Taco Lou in Jack's Beach. I love sports, and since you're listening to this station, you love sports as well. If you love sports and tacos, then Taco Lou is calling your name. You can watch the game here, call in a to-go order, and watch it at home. Or let us cater your next party. It's Friday, so here's to a weekend full of sports, tacos, and tequila at Taco Lou in Jack's Beach.
Training camp is here, and 1010XL is there. The players, the drills, even the turf. Let's do it. Training camp coverage is brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control and Roland Leash Plumbing on 1010XL.
Are you looking for increased privacy and protection for your family and pets? Look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Superior Fence and Rail is Jacksonville's top-rated fence company, delivering the highest quality fence products. They'll treat your property as if it's their own. So get off the fence and get your privacy back. Call Superior Fence and Rail today for your on-site estimates.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
This is Brandon with North Florida Epoxy Floors. Our product includes a moisture vapor barrier, essential in Florida, so your new epoxy floor looks great and is warranted with no fine print. Get a free estimate at NorthFloridaEpoxyFloors.com.
Pickett here for Roof It Right. Don't do it, people. Don't do it. I've told you once. I've told you twice. I'll tell you thrice. Don't let anyone touch your roof if the truck doesn't say Roof It Right. If you need help with your roof this hurricane season, Roof It Right. Need a warranty that's going to actually protect you? Roof It Right. You say you got a little leak? Yeah, I'd roof it right too. See them today at roofitRightFL.com. That's roofitRightFL.com. Roof It Right so you can sleep at night.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, hello. Another great guest on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL on 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. College football, less than a week and a half away. Can you believe Florida State plays a football game next Saturday against Duquesne? Of course, Florida, Miami, and Georgia all will start the week after that with all big games, right? Georgia taking on Oregon, Florida taking on Utah, Florida State back on the field against LSU there in New Orleans. Josh Pate does a terrific job with Late Kick Live, the Late Kick podcast. I'm a big fan, and I'm happy to have him join me here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Josh, how you doing?
Ryan, I am getting better by the day because of, well, mainly what you just introed. We're getting very, very close.
There's no question about it. Look, we've talked a lot about Billy Napier and Mario Cristobal. Good grief. Both guys were hired 8 months ago. We're probably at a fiery entrance here to see it all come together on the field. It's finally going to happen in a couple of weeks. Josh, let's begin with Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. I watched one of your shows, I guess about 2 weeks ago, and you were talking about, mentioned the fire reference. The Gator recruiting was on fire at that point. It's gotten even hotter in the last couple of days. 4-star defensive lineman after 4-star defensive lineman. Josh, what is your thought on Billy Napier and the job he's done to this point there in Gainesville?
Well, he's disrupting, and I can tell you he's disrupting because I've heard from a number of staffs that are trying to downplay what they're doing. That's always a good sign, by the way. When the other staffs are going out of the way to downplay it or explain it away, that means they've taken notice of you, and it means you're probably taking kids they wanted. And, yeah, he has been on fire. And the reason I've been so focused on Florida recruiting is because if you've been paying attention, I know Florida fans have, but more regionally or nationally, if folks have been paying attention to this, it feels like it came out of nowhere. And I think there's been some course correction down there. I think there's been some realization internally that we need to turn a few gears. We got to dial a few knobs. Maybe we're not doing things from an NIL perspective and an organizational perspective exactly as we need to. Now, Ryan, you and I know that used to be considered normal. That used to be called growing pains. That used to be called the normal introduction to a job. But in today's world, no one has patience for it. You just mentioned that Florida's about to play their first game under Napier, and yet it feels like the tone has already shifted 5 or 6 times surrounding Napier recruiting at Florida. So, yeah, I think they have gotten the ship righted. It's a really good sign. And I also, I'm really interested to see what they do on the field this year because they don't have proof of product yet. All Napier can point to is what he did at Louisiana and where he's coached previously as an assistant. But, imagine if they were to open the season versus Utah and they get a win. That's going to be a really tough game. Week 2, Kentucky, really tough game. But if they look good out of the gate, then I think you take gasoline and you pour it on the fire, and all of a sudden they're saying, see, you go on the recruiting trail, you validate it. We told you, and this is just a small sample size of what may be to come, and you could be a part of it.
Josh, obviously Anthony Richardson's going to be the big part of the Gator football team this year. I'm not breaking any news there, but from what I've been told, and I'm curious your opinion, the people in Gainesville, they feel pretty good starting 22 versus starting 22, right? They think they can play with a lot of SEC teams based on the starting offense and defense. The problem is the depth. It's just simply not there. So if injuries take their toll, and odds are they will, that's where Florida could potentially run into some problems.
Well, it makes them one of the more difficult teams to project because of what you just said. This is where you can't afford to get drunk on preview magazine hype because the starting 22, which is what you have listed on a depth chart in a preview magazine, man, if you could promise me this were Xbox and everybody just stays healthy, there are no injuries, yeah, Florida's got a good chance to listen, they could push for a double-digit win season if everything goes right. A bunch of things could happen. But the real world dictates that we have to assume it's coming at some point, unfortunately. We don't know where, we don't know when, but it does. The most important thing for them, if and when that does happen, is they can't afford to have happen what Texas had happen last year. Texas gets in a shootout against Oklahoma. They end up giving up a big lead. They lose, and there's your adversity in year one under a new coaching staff. Sarkisian at the end of the year said, we never got our team back after that. That was my biggest failure. Well, at some point, they're going to face adversity. It may be week 1. It may be week 4 at Tennessee or whatever. But when it happens, you'll start to find out a lot of things about how a Napier-led Florida responds. And it's going to tell you one way or the other down the road what to expect.
Josh Pate of Late Kick Live, also the Late Kick podcast. He's here with us on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Josh, final Gator thought, are you a believer in the Anthony Richardson hype coming into the year?
Well, yes, but I don't believe he's going to be in New York for the Heisman ceremony. I've gotten a lot of feedback like that when I do a mailbag segment. It seems like it's all feast or famine. It seems like either someone says Richardson's not worth any of the hype or he's going to be a Heisman finalist. What if he just has a really solid year? What if on a key 3rd and 2 in week 1, he's got that ability to hit the pile and fall forward and extend the drive and you end up winning 27-24 because of that? That kind of stuff doesn't always land you in New York City, but it certainly is better than the alternative that we have seen in Gainesville in recent years. Yeah, I think he's really good. I also think that, it takes a supporting cast. And the conversation we just had could make all that irrelevant. It could make your strength at quarterback irrelevant if you can't protect him, if you can't hold on to the ball for him, if you can't convert third downs on the ground for him. So, there's a lot more that goes into that than just what player rating is Anthony Richardson.
Because we're in the SEC, Josh, let's focus on Georgia for a moment. My contention this entire offseason has been this. They had 15 guys drafted, including, of course, Trayvon Walker right here in Jacksonville as the number 1 pick in the draft. You lose guys to the portal, graduation, etc. And yet there's not even a conversation, Josh, to be had. They are clearly the best team in the SEC East. So my question to you is that a compliment for the Dogs, or is that an indictment to the rest of that division?
It's a healthy amount of both, I think. I don't think we need to pin it down one way or the other. But I do, if Alabama were in the East, Georgia wouldn't be favored in the East. So it does have a lot to do with which division they play in. But I think also we've talked about Bama for a long time as being the quintessential reload instead of rebuild team. And there are not many of those. I mean, there aren't many at all in the sport. And we finally get to find out if Georgia's one of those this year. Because I grew up in Georgia. So I remember growing up, there was that long title drought. Pretty much my entire life has been a title drought. And I remember thinking, once they finally win one, the hangover effect will be immense. They'll lose 2 or 3 games the next year. Well, it's just weird that there's been this confluence of events where no one's really talked about Georgia over the past few months because there's been so much off the field happening in college football, even today. And the other thing is all the stars that you would worry about coming back and being complacent from a title team are gone. And even your quarterback comes back, but he's not viewed as a star. So it's just kind of a weird combination up there right now. I think that they'll lean on offense more this year than they've had to since Kirby Smart's been there, which begs the question, can they develop the depth? They got it at tight end. Can they develop it at wide receiver like they need?
Josh Pate does a terrific job covering college football on the Late Kick podcast, Late Kick Live as well. You can also follow him on Twitter at Late Kick Josh. All right, to the ACC, Josh, we go. Florida State. Look, the bottom line is they haven't been to a bowl game in 3 calendar years. Everybody down here likes Mike Norvell, Josh. I like Mike Norvell. He's always good to our radio station, always comes on when we ask. But at a certain point, you need to start winning some games. Is year 3 now at the point where, Josh, he needs to start winning some games?
Yeah, I think it's always that time. And it's so funny when you look at Florida State. I go back to the feast or famine sort of metaphor. If you are not a double-digit win team and you have a big brand like Florida State, people they don't notice the difference in winning 5 games or winning 7 games, winning 7 games or winning 8 or bordering on 9. It's like you either are great or you're terrible. And that's rarely the case. Mike Norvell, I think we can argue, has seen incremental improvement every year he's been at Florida State so far. And I think this year, if they went from not going to a bowl game to winning 7 games, well, that would be more incremental improvement. I also know there's another world out there that would look at it and say, 7 wins, 5 wins, who cares? They're not a contender. Look what Miami's doing. Look where Clemson's been for a long time, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if the microwave is always the best place to put a program. It can still be the case that sometimes you just have to put one in an oven. Clemson did it with Dabo, by the way. I know that feels like a long time ago, but they didn't flash overnight. It took a little while, and that was a good program he took over. So if my question, I guess it's rhetorical, I guess folks in Jacksonville and the surrounding area can answer. If Florida State is 7-5 this year, I know 8 is the one that most of the fans want to get to, but even if they're 7-5, what's the reaction down there? Because it's technically improvement.
It would be improvement. I just think, honestly, and I'm shocked, you'll probably be shocked to hear this, talking to Florida State fans, they just want a bowl game. If they go to a bowl game, they look at that as an improvement, and that gets me to their schedule. I mean, they start with Duquesne next Saturday. That is what it is. They're going to win that game, probably. Again, we said the same thing about Jacksonville State last year, but you expect them to beat Duquesne. Josh, their next 6 games, LSU, Louisville, NC State, Wake Forest, where are the wins going to come in that schedule? NC State thinks they have the best team maybe in 20 years in Raleigh. We know how good Wake Forest is going to be, assuming Sam Hartman comes back healthy. Louisville with Malik Cunningham. I mean, Florida State has some potential issues with that schedule.
Yeah, they do. And I'll tell you what I've been paying a lot of attention to from talking to people around camp down there. They really better have the interior of that offensive line fixed, because one of the biggest stats that stands out about FSU last year was how rarely they threw the ball for 200 or more yards in a game. And I don't think they ever hit 300 in a game. And you've got to be able to stretch the field more. They are not Arkansas. They don't have a top 3 rushing offense in the country or anything like that. So they've got to be able to have balance offensively, or at least create the illusion of it. But the other part of that is, Ryan, yeah, you listed off a lot of tough teams. You didn't list off any Goliath. You know, we did not list off an Ohio State and Alabama. So while all of those are losable, I think you can look at the flip side of a coin and say, well, they're also all winnable. You're not looking at 15 or 20-point spreads on those things. Even if FSU is a dog, they won't be a huge dog. It's winnable. You just have to have improved enough to give yourself a shot in the fourth quarter in all those games.
That's a fair point. No question about it. Josh, let's end with Miami. Much like Napier in Gainesville, Gator fans very excited about him. They're over the moon in Coral Gables about what Mario Cristobal has done. Has not coached a game yet. That'll happen here in about 2.5 weeks. But what is your early thought on the job Cristobal is doing there in South Florida?
Well, the job he's done is all recruiting. Like you said, we haven't been able to see a game. You cannot complain, I don't think, about what he's done on that front. And I don't think we'll ever have a question about how Miami is going to be able to recruit. I remember when he got there, we had him on the show, and I asked him, what did you learn about yourself when you self-scout your time in Oregon? What do you think you need to get better at? And he listed off a number of things. There wasn't one glaring thing, but he talked a lot about offensive execution, talked a lot about being physical enough and being good enough on game day. I think he knows. There were some places they fell short at Oregon. You know, they got spanked by Utah twice last year. And they prided themselves on being able to build a physical offensive and defensive line of scrimmage kind of team, and they were not that. Well, you got to build that at Miami. Tyler Van Dyke's got a lot of shine on him right now. He should. He may very well be the best quarterback in that league when all is said and done. And if he is, they're going to have a shot to win every game they play. But outside of that, same question with Napier at Florida. When some adversity hits this year, do you get right back up or does it linger? Do I learn anything, in other words, about how your locker room and team responds under your leadership in year one? That's intangible, but to me, in year one, that is as important as any result on the field.
Josh, if I had to pin you down right now, a preseason preview, who's your 4-team playoff?
Oh, man, I have no clue. Luckily, they don't make me turn that into next week. I know that I will have Alabama in there. I will have Ohio State in there, I believe. Man, I hope 2 of 4 is good enough. I've got problems nailing down the last two because there are some teams I want to go all in on. Like, for example, I'm really high on Michigan again this year, really high on them. And yet I also know they reside in the same division as Ohio State, so that's a really tough deal for them, especially if they have to go on the road this year. So I'm going to give you 2 of them, and then I'm going to say TBD for my other 2.
And finally, you mentioned Alabama. Do they have any competition in the West? People want to bring up A&M. I think Arkansas, honestly, might be more competition than maybe A&M this year, but Alabama's going to be double-digit favorites in all those games, correct?
They are, but they were favored by 3 touchdowns at A&M last year too. So the road was their biggest opponent last year. They almost got beat by Florida. They almost got beat by Auburn. They did lose to A&M. Well, you look at their road schedule, and they go to Neyland Stadium. They play Tennessee on the road. They go to Texas. I don't think that's going to be as formidable an opponent, but that Arkansas game is going to be really difficult. I think they go to Ole Miss. So they've got some road tests. That's what to watch more so to me than the individual opponent, because that road last year, if they don't have that rectified, that's what could jump up to bite them. I don't think you will have seen a pass rush, though, in a long time, like you'll see Alabama have this year, if those 3 guys they have stay healthy.
Yeah, Will Anderson is an absolute stud. Josh, let the good folks here in Jacksonville know where they can find your podcast, your program. Again, I'm a big fan. Where can people go and view it?
No, I appreciate you saying that, Ryan. I appreciate you letting me come on the show. We put this thing everywhere, basically, so you can find it at your convenience. If you want it on YouTube, we do it live Sunday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Just search Late Kick. If you want it on podcast, those replays are there every day. Just search Late Kick with Josh Pate, and you can find me on any of the socials, basically, at Late Kick Josh.
He is terrific. Josh Pate talking about the world of college football. Josh, enjoy your work, man. We'll talk again soon. Thank you, brother.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.
There you go, Josh Pate. Always enjoy the conversation. Yeah, I think he does a terrific job with the Late Kick show and the Late Kick podcast. Now, I had somebody on the text line, Designed by Lifetime Enclosures, talking about college football. And Denmark, what do we always like to encourage the good folks when you're texting, right? We want to have dialogue. We want to have a conversation.
What's
and
your
to
name?
do that, right, I need to know what your name is. So just include your name, maybe what part of town you're in, so we can acknowledge you on the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. But the 505 says on the text line, Utah favored in the Swamp is disrespectful. Oh, boy. I have been telling Gator fans for months. I started Hacker After Dark. I started the solo show here April 11th, I think. So we're going back 4 months now. Maybe not every night, but a lot of those nights, Utah is going to give Florida problems. And I hear, well, it's the Swamp, right? It's at night. Anthony Richardson. Swamp magic, the atmosphere. Utah's not going to be ready for it. All right. Here's the bottom line. Utah's ranked 7th in the country in the AP poll. Florida's unranked. What are you talking about? It being disrespectful that Utah's favorite. They're a top 10 team in the AP. You're not ranked. Come on, man. Look at Utah's returning starters. Cam Rising, their quarterback, was all first-team Pac-12 last year. On the offensive line, Utah is returning 73 starts on that offensive line. 73. Including, let's see how many. Second team All Pac-12. Two-time All Pac-12. Top 10 recruit in the country. They got an offensive line out there. Running backs, what do they have at the playmaking positions? Well, they got a guy that got 1,100 rushing yards last year coming back in Tavion Thomas. Micah Bernard, 775 all-purpose yards. That's almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage they have returning in their backfield. You say wide receiver. What's going on at wide receiver? Well, they got a guy that started 44 games at wide receiver. They got a guy that averaged 17 yards a catch in 2021. They got some players, man.
Andy Abate from Florida, remember?
Yeah, well, they can have him.
Yeah. Still.
After I saw him dog it on a couple of plays, Marsh showed me that. Graham showed me that. Diabate, look, I'm never going to badmouth a kid. Maybe he was, I'll say injured, but it didn't look like it. He looked like he dogged a couple of plays last year after Mullen was fired. So the fact that Diabate's at Utah, have fun with that. But when you wonder why Utah's favorite, I'll say it again, they're a preseason top 10 team. Gator fan, you're not ranked. You need to wrap your mind around that and wonder why that's the case. They returned 13 starters off a team that went to the Rose Bowl last year. You went 2-6 in conference last year. That is a hard game for Florida coming up in 16 days. 641-1010 is the phone number at halftime. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll talk a little high school ball. That's next. Hacker After Dark on a Thursday. 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Jacksonville's one-of-a-kind.
I heard a story about you. I was wondering if it's true.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
This is 1010XL.
Oh, are you seeing these readings? This is incredible.
Short-staffed, Marco's climate research facility is in the eye of the storm. The atmospheric pressure to find more weather specialists is mounting.
Man, this is going to be a big job. We're going to need a bigger team.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hacker here for my friends at Xfinity with incredible news when it comes to internet. If you want it all just like I do, there's a new way to save with Xfinity. Now get Xfinity Internet for 12 months with unlimited data and Wi-Fi equipment included, plus a free 4K streaming box and 1 line of unlimited mobile. That's all for just $75 a month with no annual contract required. That's the Xfinity 3-for-1 bundle. Switching to Xfinity has never been easier. It's risk-free, and you get all the Wi-Fi power your family needs for a house full of connected devices. This is a limited-time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with a stored bank account. New fast internet customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay. Xfinity Internet. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit an Xfinity store today.
It all comes down to Daytona and the Coke Zero Sugar 400 race weekend, August 26th and 27th. Answer this question for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400, August 27th. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win.
With your home value up again, you are sitting on a pile of money. Don't just let it sit there. Use it. Hey, it's Prosser here for my friends at Loan Pronto. Introducing Loan Pronto's Equity Line of Credit program. You don't have to refinance, but you can access up to 97% of your home's value. Get cash now to pay off all your credit cards or do that home improvement project. Get your down payment for a new home or stash away for a safety net. You can get $50,000, even $100,000 or more out of your home, and the payments are crazy low. Think what you can do with $100,000 right now. Loan Pronto makes unlocking your equity easy, and they can probably even waive the appraisal fee. Don't let all the home equity pile up. Turn your house into an ATM machine and get the cash you need. Call Loan Pronto now, 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. You can also reach Loan Pronto at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
People often think if they don't have symptoms, they shouldn't get tested for colon cancer. If you're 45 or older, it's time to get checked. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. Protect your end zone. If you're over 45, ask your doctor about a colonoscopy. 45 is the new 50. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to helping the community and save lives. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
If you've been injured, your insurance company may try to downplay your pain. I'm Holt Harrell, and making sure that you are compensated is what I do. Don't deal with insurance companies alone. Call me, 251-1111. Harrell & Harrell, offices Jacksonville.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with all the hottest brands in golf at the best prices, featuring tailor-made stealth carbon woods and irons. Callaway's Rogue ST collection of woods and irons, Titleist's T-Series irons and Vokey wedges, and Ping's G425 woods and irons. All this and more at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Swing by and receive a free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? Regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for unlimited time, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 904-664-8217.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Establishing a regular sleeping pattern is crucial for your well-being. This includes going to bed at roughly the same time every night and waking up around the same time every morning. You may even consider turning off all electronic devices an hour before bedtime. Ever wonder why you can't fall asleep after staring at your phone right before bed? Studies show that the light from your phone actually decreases melatonin production, therefore causing disruptions to your sleep throughout the night. Get some rest before the big game. Go Jags.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
High school football begins regular season play next Friday night, year 16 of the Friday Night Lights postgame show here on 1010XL. We are certainly excited about that. A team that made a very deep run into the state playoffs last year, got all the way to what? The state Final Four was the Baker County Wildcats before they ran into Miami Central. They're one of the poster children, kinda, for the new Metro Division, Suburban Division thing. Kevin Mays is their head coach. I had a chance to catch up with him at High School Football Media Day. Let's preview Baker County and let's talk about that Metro and Suburban thing here on Hacker After Dark. Back here at Baker Sports 2022 High School Football Media Day, the Baker County Wildcats have arrived at TIAA Bank Field. My friend Kevin Mays is the head coach of Baker County. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Coach, another season. How we doing?
We're doing good. Looking forward to it. Get started today. So that's why we tried to get over here early so we can get back and be ready to go.
August 1st, it's go time for high school football all over the state of Florida. Year 4 for you at Baker County. From when you arrived to where you are now, are you happy?
Yeah, real happy. I mean, to get as far as we got last year, and, we've the guys over the last 2 years have won 21 football games, so it's hard to complain about that. I mean, you'd like to walk away winning your last game, but it didn't happen. But to get where we got last year, if you'd have told me last year, hey, Coach, you're going to get to the Final Four, I'd have taken it right from the beginning, So really happy the way things have gone.
You and I had talked about this before we started here. There's, I guess, dialogue out there that maybe you were one of the teams that was the reason that the Metro Suburban thing happened, because you had to play Miami Central in the state semis last year. Their student population double, if not triple, what your student population is. And now the change. Now you're suburban. You no longer have to play schools from big cities. What was your thought when the FHSAA made that ruling?
Being the competitive guy that I am, I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily care. Just give me the teams that we have to play. Put us in something and let's go. Now, saying that, I do think for Baker County that the suburban metro has helped us not run into a juggernaut like a Miami Central. We have 750 males that go to our school. That's who I draw from. There aren't many kids driving out to play in McClenny. But you take any of the Miami schools, not just Miami Central, but how many kids can they draw from that live close enough to drive into that school? And, everyone will say, the schools are the same size, but the population area is not the same size. So for Baker County, I think it's really good. You look down to playoffs, and I'm not taking anything away from any teams, but you don't see that American Heritage, the Miami Central, St. Thomas Aquinas. You don't see those names that, hey, it's a good season if we get to those guys. And so I do think it is, and our kids are excited because, again, you look at the schedule and, we're equal to a lot of people that we're going to have to play.
I guess my thought is, in covering the game, you've had some knockdown dragouts with Ed White, Bishop Kenny in the past. To me, it may be a little unfortunate those aren't district games, although you could still schedule non-district games against Duval County schools.
Yeah, and we did. We reached out to them, and we were able. We play Andrew Jackson. Baldwin got put on our schedule. I'm trying to go through my schedule. I think we play somebody else. We still play Oakleaf, which I know they're not, but they're a bigger school. But yeah, we'll always reach out to play those guys because those were fun games. I think I've played Ed White like 5 times in the last 3 years. We like going over and playing those games, and if it works out, I think those teams like playing us too because it's a neat environment to come out and watch. Come out and play in McClenny.
You mentioned the environment. I want to get to the team in a moment, but we talk about the best environments in the area. Look, Bartram's awesome. The Graveyard at Rains is awesome. To me, there's nothing like McClenny because it is that state of Texas feel. The town shuts down on Friday night. Year 4 for you. From when you took over to where you are now, just the home field advantage, the environment on Friday nights, how would you assess it?
It's awesome. Everybody in that town supports what we do, from school to the community, to the booster club, administration, cheerleaders, band, everybody supports us, and it's a fun place to be. You get there early, and the booster club sets up the big tailgating stuff out there, and it feels almost bigger than a high school football game. And I try to explain that to my kids that you don't get that every places. Most places we go, just to talk about the support, we attend attendance-wise, attend the home teams. So it's a great place to coach.
People that have seen you and your teams at Baker County know you like to run the football, the big uglies up front, controlling the game, the physicality of the game. Can we expect more of that in 2022?
Yeah, we've lost, I think it's I was trying to count 10 or 11 guys that were 3-year starters for me, so it's hard to replace. But we hope our processes that have been put in place have the next guy up ready to go. And we have a pretty big offensive line that's ready to play somebody different because, you do this stuff all summer. You're with each other all summer. And we did get to go to team camp, and we got to play some guys from around here. We played Atlantic Coast and Jackson and a couple of those. So it was fun to get after someone else. But, yeah, the style of football is not going to change. We're going to do whatever it is that's working at that time. Try to get the ball into Cam Smith's hands and let him do his thing. And, we still kind of got a battle at quarterback going on. We got a Davion Dean, sophomore, and Jabari Ruiz, a senior, and we'll get that figured out. But we're going to get the ball to the guys that can put some points on the board.
That's how Baker County gets it done year in and year out. Kevin Mays is the head coach of Baker County. Coach, best of luck. I know we'll be talking to you under the Friday Night Lights this year.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Speaking of the Friday Night Lights, a week from tomorrow, year 16 of the Friday Night Lights post-game show. Myself, Andrew Gibson, Dylan Denmark will have it for you all year long with the Bulls games, the Bulls Bulldogs on 10:10 a.m., Bishop Kenny on 92.5 FM. We'll tell you more about this tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is actually the final Friday Hacker After Dark for a while because Denmark and myself will transition into the Friday Night Lights postgame. We'll still be with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, doing Hacker After Dark, but beginning a week from tomorrow, we will be on the Friday Night Lights postgame show until right around Thanksgiving as the high school football season gets ready to kick off. In the 9 o'clock hour, Hacker After Dark, glad you're with us. Coming up next, Leon Searcy, a guy you may know. You hear him every day on XL Primetime. One of my good buddies, one of the best offensive linemen that ever played here in Jacksonville. We'll talk Jags and Steelers with Leon Searcy. We'll also, at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour, go down memory lane with former Florida Gator D. Webb. D. Webb, a high school star here, played at Florida, drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. His cousin Trayon Webb of Trinity Christian recently committed to the University of Florida. Gator fans, I think you'll find that conversation with D. Webb very interesting. He is coming up at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. It is a Thursday night on Hacker After Dark, and you got it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. As always, Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us.
The station that's not afraid to trade a little paint.
Banging into each other. Bang.
This Sunday at Watkins Glen.
He got loose. Way loose.
Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Duck Duck Rooter wants to be your provider when it comes to servicing private lift stations at your commercial properties. We offer service plans which include monthly operations and full annual and biannual inspections and cleanings. The last thing you want is an unexpected costly maintenance issue, such as pumps, floats, or control panel failure. Call Duck Duck Rooter today and sign up for service. 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and 3-time champion. Trust me, I know about joint pain.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith, talks about chronic joint pain and exciting new regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics.
I know what it's like to fight through pain, but now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced, all-natural regenerative medicine that can give you lasting relief with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Do you suffer with constant pain from arthritis or injury? Pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or lower back? Don't assume steroids, pain meds, and surgery are your only options. Regenerative, restorative, natural solutions are now available.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love.
Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation and learn how regenerative medicine can repair and restore damaged joint tissue.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Ever since you, Dirks Bentley. Beers on Me Tour 2022, August 28th, Daly's Place. And he's bringing along special guest, Ashley McBride. Let's just stick to the one night standard. Yeah, I'm somewhere on a beach. Dirks Bentley, live in concert. Cause the beer's on me. On sale now. Buy tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Leon Searcy here. You know why I'm happy? Thanks to Famous Automotive and Quick Lube. You know, when Big Sirs needs trusted repairs for my ride, I'm always going to choose Famous Automotive. No matter what part of town I'm in, Orange Park, Mandarin, Cassett Avenue, University, even St. Augustine, you always get consistent, expert repairs and superior service. That's no joke. And let them know you heard it from me, Big Sirs.
Famous Automotive and Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous.
This is Brandon with North Florida Epoxy Floors. Our product gives you a custom high-quality appearance and the longest-lasting finish at a more affordable price. So for your garage, home, or business, research the difference between 100% solids epoxy and a products like polyurea, which can be kinda fishy. Our epoxy includes a moisture vapor barrier, essential in Florida, so your North Florida epoxy floor looks great and is warranted with no fine print. Get a free estimate at northfloridaepoxyfloors.com.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent with help from Family Support Services of North Florida. You provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
How many radio stations are on the air now? The answer next.
Is your home your most valuable asset? It is for most of us, and Southern Oak Insurance recommends an annual review. Log on to southernoak.com for more information.
Our family protecting yours, Southern Oak Insurance.
There are currently 15,330 radio stations split fairly equally between AM, FM, and educational.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
I'm Hacker, and this high school football preview is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. 2022 should be another good year for Duval County on the high school gridiron. Private school programs like Bowles, Trinity Christian, and University Christian seemingly are always in the mix for a state title run, while public schools like Fletcher, Mandarin, Atlantic Coast, Rains, and Baldwin have had their fair share of postseason success as well. Expect more of the same this year.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line, brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Steelers coming up Saturday night, preseason game number 3 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Expect the starters to play into the second quarter. A man that knows all about playing for both the Steelers and the Jaguars, of course, my friend Leon Searcy. You get him every day on XL Primetime. And very soon, Leon, you and I will be hosting the fifth quarter together. We are about 3 weeks away from another season of the fifth quarter. I cannot wait for that, buddy. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Looking forward to it.
Hey, Leon, always thank you for the time, man. And look, you and I spent a great deal of time together in Canton. We watched the Hall of Fame game together. I haven't talked to you since the Cleveland game last week. What were your observations on Trevor, the first-team offense, and everything you saw last Friday night?
Well, I tell you what, I mean, they played a lot better than they played the week before when we was in Canton. I mean, I think the offense had tempo, had rhythm. I think Trevor was precise on a lot of his throws, had a couple of overthrows. I like to see that 50% be somewhere in the 60, mid-60s, 70s during the preseason. The offensive line was decent with the pass protection. I like to see they struggled a little bit in the run. I was hoping, especially interiorly, with the Fortner and with Shatley and Sheriff, I thought they could have been a little bit more dominant in the middle. I think Travis Etienne had like 9 carries, 23 yards. I mean, that's not enough. You got to get in that 4 and 5 yard range when it comes to carrying the ball. I think the tackles played decent. Juwan Taylor, Walker Little, and Cam Robertson. I think the receiving corps was pretty good. They were getting open. I mean, there was separation between the wide receivers and the DBs. I really like Zay Jones. I really like that kid. Even Evan Ingram, he played well. He had a touchdown in the game. I think defensively we were stout in the run. I thought we got after it pretty good in the run. That's a pretty good Cleveland Browns offensive line that they went up against, and they stymied them for the mass majority of the time they was out there. I think the pass defense was well. They created the turnovers. Shaquille Griffin getting that turnover with the hit. And Trayvon, everybody's talking about the first round pick. He didn't get any sacks, but I mean, he was disruptive. I mean, he got a holding penalty, came on the backside to help cause the fumble. But unfortunately, with all that I just said, there was a huge drop-off after the first team got up out of there. That's what the Jaguars have got to work on moving forward is their depth. They've got to have guys that can step in right away if someone goes down and they don't miss a beat.
Yeah, it looks like the Jaguars starting 22 against starting 22 can hold their own. But you're right, It was a massive drop-off when the backups came in. Leon, preseason football, man, it's so funny. Trevor was 2 of 8 at one point, and I'm thinking, that'll be an interesting talking point on 1010XL. And then the last drive, he goes 4 for 4 for 53 yards and a touchdown. And 2 for 8 turns into 6 for 12 for 95 and a score. The conversation could be much different if not for that last offensive drive that he had.
No, absolutely. I think, listen, probably those are always teaching moments. I mean, when the coaching staff gets that kid, gets that player in that film room, he's going to go over the 2 for 8 that he started with. He's going to talk about his progressions. He's going to talk about, look at this guy being open, that here's your check down, all that kind of stuff. So that's the great thing about the preseason. As a coach, you're able to pinpoint there's talking points or stuff you would have missed that you don't see on the field. So Trevor's growing. I mean, he's going to. I think the best thing to ever happen for Trevor Lawrence is that his head coach is a former quarterback. So Doug Peterson has been in those situations as a backup with Brett Favre in Green Bay as a head coach. With Carson Wentz under his tutelage, with Nick Foles under his tutelage. So I mean, Trevor's only going to get better with time. But 50%. I would just like to see that a lot higher, especially during the preseason.
Former Jacksonville Jaguar offensive tackle Leon Searcy here with us on Hacker After Dark. Of course, you get Leon every day on XL Primetime. Leon, the 5 offensive linemen. Look, we know Cam Robinson is the left tackle. We know Luke Fortner, the rookie, is going to be the center, and certainly Brandon Sheriff looked dominant last week at right guard. But here we sit 3 weeks before the regular season opener, and there is a conversation about right tackle between Walker Little and Jawan Taylor, and maybe now even a conversation about left guard with Ben Barch and Tyler Shatley. That's not a good spot to be in, right, Leon, when 40% of your starting offensive line is potentially up in the air 3 weeks before the regular season opener?
Hack, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. Competition is going to make you better. I mean, I've never been one to run for competition because I've always known as a player, if I've got somebody behind me that can push me and make me better, we both benefit from it. So, the competition between Shatley and Barch and between Juwan Taylor and Walker Little, it's all in how you look at it. If they're both pushing each other, yeah, absolutely. You want the starting job. You want to be there week 1. But if it boils down to the best man winning, then you have to bow your head and say, okay, I'm going to stay ready. My time will come. My opportunity will come. But if it was up to me, I would like it to stay where it is. But at the left guard position, I clearly think Ben Barch is more of the mauler. Now, he struggles in the past with something he needs to work on. But as far as getting the run game going, I think that Ben Barch is the bigger, more physical player than Shatley. And as far as Walker Little and Jawan Taylor, you know how I feel about Jawan Taylor. He's been such a disappointment after his rookie year. He's just slid down. What's that game we used to board game? Chutes and Ladders. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
He's been sliding down that chute for the last couple of years. And Jawan Taylor's in a situation right now where he's going to either earn or burn his money moving forward, because if he loses this job to Walker Little, his earning potential at the right tackle position is going to dwindle. And everybody said, well, just move him inside. That's not as smooth a transition as you would like it to be. So I like the competition. I like that it's not necessarily settled. And I think the Jaguars like it as well, because I think when it's all said and done, after these games are over, the best man is going to win. And that's all you want as a coach, as you want your best 5 on the field.
Leon, you're one of the best offensive linemen to ever play here in 28 years of Jaguar football. So let me ask you, you're the guy to ask. Luke Fortner is a third rounder, apparently has come right in as a rookie and is going to be the starter from day one. Not even really a battle there. Fortner looks like he has the job. I mean, how unbelievably impressive is that for a third-round rookie to come in and assume that mantle there at center?
Well, here's the thing: the Jaguars didn't just pick up Fortner. They had to have him penciled in way before the draft. I like the fact that the kid's a super senior. He's played in the toughest conference in college football, which is the SEC, at Kentucky. He's been there 6 years. He's a freaking aeronautical engineer. He's freaking smart as all outdoors. So you want those kind of components in the middle of your offensive line because the center is the quarterback of your line. He sets the table for everybody else to eat. He sets up the protections. He sets up where the defense is. He sets up the calls, and he sets the table for the quarterback. So when he scans the field, he can pinpoint where the Mike backer is, if it's one or two high safeties, or the corners are up, if they're doing this and that. So the fact that he's a rookie and he came in as a starter from day one, the Jaguars had to have him penciled in long before they drafted him in April.
Final moments here with former Jaguar offensive tackle Leon Searcy. Leon, you mentioned Trayvon Walker. He has played limited snaps in both games, but he has made impactful plays in both games. And I got to tell you, practice, 2 preseason games, I don't know what else Trayvon Walker could do to earn that number 1 pick in the draft. To me, he's been great so far.
He has been, but I'm not ready to toot his horn quite yet. He's done some nice things in practice and in the preseason. But I want to see how he plays when the bullets start flying. That's when when the speed turns up. Right now he's got his hair in the air conditioner. The heat's going to be turned up real soon. So I want to see how he plays. Good on good, better on better. I mean, don't get me wrong. The last 2 games, he had some success. But somewhere down the road, he's going to hit a bump. He's going to have some adversity, and I want to see how he responds to it. I mean, everything is good when everything looks good, but I want to see when he hits that wall, when he has that bad game, when he gets pile drive to the ground. It's going to happen. When he gets beat, when he gets mugged, when the offensive lineman, all that kind of stuff. I want to see how he handles adversity because everything, you can smile when everything's bells and whistles, but I want to see how he handles it when it gets tough. I want to see if he's going to get going or is he going to get better.
Leon, you played over a decade in the National Football League. You know better than most. The Turk is coming. We're 3 weeks into camp. They've already cut 5 guys, I guess 6 if you include Malcolm Brown. They got to cut, 30 more guys basically here in the next, 10 to 14 days. What is it like in that locker room right now? If you're a guy on the bubble, if you're a guy that's uncertain if you're going to make this roster, where are you now mentally 3 weeks into camp knowing what's just ahead?
Well, you're making a lot more phone calls to your mama than you did when you was in college. I can tell you that for sure. You really are because if you're honest with your peoples, you're letting them know, hey, listen, it's not looking that good for me. I might have to consider, going on another team. You're having a conversation with your agent. You let your agent know, hey, I'm not getting that many reps. They got to be playing sporadically on special teams. I might get cut. Is there another team out there for me? So you're making arrangements, and if your reps in practice are being cut down, if you're spending more time on the sideline looking than actually in practice, at this particular point, you got to figure that your time is limited. If you're not getting on special teams, if you're just on the sideline drinking Gatorade and laughing it up during the game, you got to know your time is coming. So I've never been on the back end of that. It really sucks because when you're a veteran guy, I mean, I had to worry about this when I was a first round pick. I didn't have to worry about it. But as I got older, you build relationships with these guys, play cards with these guys. You go out and have a couple of beers with these guys. You get to know the young fellas, talk to them, and all that kind of stuff. And it's so demoralizing for them to come in that locker room while we're gathered together and talking and saying, hey, they cut me today. It was great meeting you guys. It really sucks, Hack. It really does, especially when you're a veteran and you build a relationship with a younger guy. All he's ever dreamed about is playing in the NFL, and he walks in there and tells you that he's moving on.
It's the tough part of the business. There's no question about that. Leon, we got about 90 seconds to go. Final Jaguar-related question. I mentioned 3 weeks into camp. They've been through OTAs. They've been through the off-season conditioning and mini camp. If the Jaguar coaching staff had to put a 53-man lineup out there today, could they do that? Have they had enough time, or are they still deciding roster spots towards the tail end of the roster?
I would say right now, Hack, the coaching staff probably has 75 to 80% of the guys already figured out. And then the other 25 to 20%, they're legitimizing, this game against the Steelers is going to legitimize whether they should make the team or they shouldn't make the team. Because these coaches, they're meeting all the time. They're evaluating the talent. They're evaluating the film. They're talking about effort. They're talking about does he make mistakes? Does he make mental error? Is he an assignment guy? Is he a physical guy? Is he a try-hard guy? Is he a knucklehead? All those things are factoring in with the determination of if a guy makes a team or not. So I would say right now, the coaching staff, once this Pittsburgh Steelers game is over, I would say they probably got 80% of who's going to make the team after this game moving forward.
Former Jacksonville Jaguar offensive tackle Leon Searcy. Leon, you have an event coming up this weekend with your book, correct?
I do. I have a book signing this Friday night at Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. It's 3535 St. John Bluff. It's from 6 to 8 o'clock. I'm going to have some former Jaguar players there, like Kevin Hardy's coming through, Greg Huntington. I've got some former Steelers coming through, Ernie Mills, Yancey Thigpen. I even got a New England Patriot. I got Brandon Merriweather coming through. So it's $60. $60, you get a book signing. You get a picture with me, autograph book, picture with me, wings, food sponsored by Wingstop and Justin, and you get a drink, a Searcy Punch. That's a specialty drink that they're putting together at Goodfellas.
That is outstanding, the Searcy Punch. I love it.
Yes.
And that's Friday night, Leon?
Friday night, Goodfellas, 3535 St. John Bluff from 6 to 8. My book signing along with Wingstop sponsored and former NFL players.
That is perfect. Hopefully people can go out there and have a good time with Leon and his former NFL compadres. Leon Searcy, you get him every day on XL Primetime, and soon you will get us every Sunday on the fifth quarter following every Jaguar regular season game. Leon, thank you for the time, bud.
You got it, bro.
Taking the middle of your day to a whole new level.
Look, you guys, they're just all really cool kids. And if they were mine, I would be so proud.
XL Primetime.
And I am proud just to even know them.
Weekdays noon to 3 on 1010XL.
If you've been thinking about a new Toyota, then stop thinking and start buying during the national sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. And check this out. Arlington's got 500 new Toyotas available, and that makes now the perfect time to slip into a new ride. Plus, you get 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it, and a lifetime warranty with your new Toyota purchase. So stop thinking and start buying. Better yet, start your engines. It's the national sales event at Arlington Toyota. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford.
We are off the chain again. We had 5 shootings, 2 killed in a matter of hours. It was not just the north side. It was all over. Mayport, south side, west side, north side. Let you know it's not just one part of town. We know they have a sheriff race coming up. We cannot get caught up on that. We as a community have got to say, enough is enough. We've got to take a stand and start breaking the code of silence and tell what we know. As always, JSO was not there when the 5 shootings occurred. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think.
For information about Mad Dads, go to Mad Dads Jacksonville chapter Facebook or MadDadsJacksonville.com.
Mystic Cornhole Company is the first choice for high-quality custom boards made right here in Jacksonville. But if you have a cornhole emergency, drop by their shop on Phillips Highway and pick up your new set today. MysticCornholeCompany.com.
And now that the kids are back at school, you can see the beating your house is taking. Carpets, tile, grout, and even the sofa needs some cleaning. If your home needs some cleaning, give Zero Res a call. Right now, get 50% off tile and grout sealing. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here, and right now is the time to ramp up your drafting for fantasy football season. I always use Underdog Fantasy to draft now because there's no in-season management. Of course, I do it to try and win the $10 million in prizes too, but it organically prepares me for my local season-long drafts as well. So sign up now, head to UnderdogFantasy.com or the App Store, and when you do sign up, use promo code 1010XL. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Underdog Fantasy, don't forget to sign up with promo code 1010XL.
Kohler Homes, it's about trust. When you want windows, doors, siding, and more, you need a local business that you can truly trust. Kohler Homes has a 40-plus year history of outstanding service. Kohler Homes is so much different. They do not just handle one or two brands. They handle all Florida-approved manufacturers. And everything this company does is guided by honesty, integrity, and no high-pressure sales. The website is KohlerHomesInc.com. Ask about their great financing options right now. Invest in your home now with Kohler Homes. It's about trust.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
When you owe the IRS and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax representation. Never trust your tax problem to a so-called tax resolution company that doesn't employ attorneys. We are a firm of experienced tax attorneys that has successfully represented over 10,000 clients. Call 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com to schedule a no-cost consultation.
Kick off this fall on the links at Junior Achievement's annual Golf Classic at San Jose Golf and Country Club. For more than 11 years, the funds raised support JA's efforts to help inspire and prepare our youth to succeed in a global economy. All participants enjoy on-the-green breakfast, lunch, drinks, post-play reception, awards, contests, prizes, and much more. To play or sponsor, contact Stephanie Saman at janfl.org or call 398-9944, extension 231.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved. We'd love to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700. 798-1700.
Share coffee and conversation with a Hall of Famer.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Breakfast with Baselli.
Brought to you by
Epstein and Robbins DUI Defense Firm and Fifth Element Adjusting. Breakfast provided by Chick-fil-A. Monday morning on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now,
hello.
Another great guest on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. We are inside of 3 weeks, heck, closer to 2 weeks now, till the Florida Gators get underway. The Billy Napier era kicks off on Labor Day weekend, Saturday night, September 3rd, against the Pac-12 champion, Utah Utes. Let's go down memory lane at the University of Florida, a man that knows all about wearing the orange and blue from right here in Jacksonville, defensive back D. Webb here with us on 1010XL. D, how you doing?
I'm fine, man. I'm blessed, brother. How about yourself?
Hey, D, we are good, man, and it's hard to believe, man. I haven't talked to you in so long. We're coming up on, I guess, the 20-year anniversary of your recruitment going to the University of Florida. You were drafted in 2006 right here to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, what are your fondest memories of your time down there in Gainesville?
The fondest memories, probably, honestly, just having a good, genuine relationship with the players before I even got there. Really, not even knowing I was going to be a Gator. Everybody knew me coming up. I was a big Hurricane fan, so a lot of those memories I had before I even got on the campus, hanging out with Van Hartman and those guys. That's kind of like a lot of things that stick out to me when I first think about Florida Gators in my memories.
Of course, D. Webb played right here at Ed White High School, then went on to the University of Florida. D, you played for Ron Zook and Urban Meyer, Urban's first year in Gainesville. We'll get to Urban in a moment. Obviously, he was in the news very much here in Jacksonville within the last year or so. What was your memories of Ron Zook when you played down there in Gainesville?
They just didn't give him enough time to do what he needed to do. That's my opinion. I stick to that. I feel like if he was there another year, he had brought in one of the best recruiting classes with our class in 2003, probably ever come through Florida. We all played as true freshmen, and we were just beginning to become men in the SEC. So, me personally, he's a great recruiter. He's a great coach. He just had a raw deal of the stick, following the man. You always know if you follow the man, you'll get a lot of doggone backlash, and a lot of people want you to be able to do exactly what Spurrier did off Jump Street. So me personally, I just feel like they ain't give him enough time. I feel like they'd have just waited another year, and we could have been to the big dance.
You know, you're right. Zook did replace Spurrier. That's a tough act to follow. Urban Meyer replaced Zook. You played for both guys. Most of your career was with Ron Zook. Your final year in Gainesville was with Urban Meyer. You and I were talking off air. You said that you weren't necessarily surprised that things did not go well for Urban here in Jacksonville. D, what was your thought on that whole situation last year?
Just me knowing Meyer, who Meyer is, how he coached. I just know, and me being a player that made it to the next level, being around a veteran group of guys in Jacksonville, knowing how they operate, and really the players run the team pretty much. So I knew that was something that was going to be hard for him to get grasp of, because he's one of those coaches. He's a controlling coach. He kind of like won't pick an order. He won't you do it his way or no way. So when you got a college coach coming up to the ranks trying to tell other people that's probably making just as much money or more money than you what to do and how to do it, if it ain't going to get done that way, kick rocks, that's going to be hard, because the players are what make the doggone organization go. So I kind of figured it was going to be hard for him to be transition over from college to NFL, and look what happened.
It was a disaster. There's no sugarcoating it. It was a nightmare. And I'm curious, because you're from Jacksonville, not so much a Jaguar question, but an NFL head coach question. The Jaguars go from Urban Meyer last year to a guy that's won a Super Bowl in Doug Peterson. I mean, that's a 180, right, D, from the coach last year to where we are in Jacksonville this year.
Right, and that's me personally. That's what I think. I won't even say we, because I'm not a Jaguar fan. I just say far. I'm just saying we, far as being a hometown fan. Basically, if we want to say that, you got to put somebody in an organization like Jacksonville that's done been there, done that, and already got the job done. And I think that's what they did this year. They put somebody that know what they need to get to the doggone the big show. And with Doug Peterson being there, he knows exactly what he needs. I've been there, done it. And now he's just putting the stuff together. Just got to give him time to put everything together, put the pieces together, and start making his run.
D. Webb was a first-team All-SEC selection at the University of Florida. He's with us here on 1010XL Radio in Jacksonville. D, during your college career, as we talked about, you went from Ron Zook, to Urban Meyer. The Gators this year are going from Dan Mullen to Billy Napier. What is that like for those guys to have now two different head coaches during their college careers?
Me personally, I could talk about my experiences back then. It was difficult, and it's hard to say because the man that recruited me brought me into the University of Florida. That turned my eyes away from Miami to the University of Florida. It was tough for me to transition because I didn't feel like they didn't give them enough time because we was all playing as true freshmen. But I think this what's going on now, I think it's a better situation for us to transition because the team wasn't behind Mullen. So when you don't have a team that's behind your head coach and you bring another head coach in there and bring in the energy he bringing in and bringing in the coaching styles he bringing in and all the pieces to the puzzle around Gator football, I feel like it's a better transition. It's better for the players. It's better for us as Gator alumni. It's better for the fans in a whole because it's a lot more energy in Gainesville. And it done brought me back to Gainesville more than I would ever came to Gainesville since I played there. So I think it's a good transition. I think we got big things coming for us in the next however many years Billy want to decide to stay and run this thing up.
Indeed, to that point, have you had a personal interaction with Billy Napier? I mean, what's your thought on him?
Yes, I asked him a couple times. He's an open book. He's an open door policy, especially to all the alumni players that come back and help try to bring the doggone school back to the promised land. And I can say he's a genuine guy. He's down to earth. And like I said, he's never made me feel like he's bigger than me or anybody in the organization. He's one of the guys, honestly.
Couple of more for D. Webb, former Ed White commander, former Florida Gator, and, of course, drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. D. Webb is a hometown Jacksonville guy. Speaking of that, you have a family member that just committed to the University of Florida a couple of weeks back, Trayon Webb. Your cousin from Trinity Christian has committed to the University of Florida. D, what was your thought on that? What advice did you give him? And what kind of player is Trayon, in your opinion, going to be at the next level?
I'm excited for him. You know what I'm saying? He have his own journey. Like I always tell you, you have your own journey through the whole recruitment process. You have your own journey. I'm on here just guide you, give you advice. And on the school I could talk on is University of Florida, so I'm going to tell you what I know. I can't talk down on no other school. I just tell you what I know, what I've experienced. And I know, like I told him, and like I tell any kid, especially around here from you in Jacksonville, if you got a chance to go to University of Florida, just outside of football, it's a life-changing experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this the backyard of Gainesville or vice versa. If football don't work out, our alumni base so big here in Jacksonville and state of Florida, or nationwide, period, it's probably the biggest one in the whole nation. You'll have opportunities outside of football. So that's kind of like what I was talking to him about more than just playing on the field. I'll tell him what comes with being a Gator off the field. And that's what really led me to become a Gator, honestly, just knowing the strong alumni base that Florida have. And that's all I was just teaching him through his whole process. And also, like, do your homework and do your research. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll tell you he wasn't really getting recruited by Mullen now. And then Billy came in and it's fit perfect for what he does because he run a 3-back system. And where would you else want to go? Well, I could save my body over the next 3 to 4 years and still go out there and be effective and have some thread on the ties when I get ready to go to the NFL if he decides to go to the NFL. So those are the kind of things I was telling him. And me personally, I think he had more to give because he's an athlete. A lot of people don't even know his first offer was in 7th grade and it was at cornerback. You know what I'm saying? So I've been harping for him to get on that side of the ball to make it his doggone value, his stock be wider and ranger because you could play cornerback and everybody that know running back is a doggone least paid sport and least longevity sport in football, NFL too. So I'm really advocating for him to play more defense this year, which I think is going to see, and it's going to be a game changer for him, knowing him seeing that side of the ball in game time action versus just playing in 7-on-7 in the offseason. So he got a big curve. He finna put out there for everybody this year to show he can play on the other side of the ball too. And me personally, I just think he's a better defensive back than a running back.
Final moments here with D. Webb. No, that's interesting, man. And we've talked to Trayon, and what I love about him and what Gator fans love about him is his personality, the way he interacts with the media. You can tell he's done this for a long time, and Gator fans love the fact he's on social media every night recruiting for Florida. I mean, he's done a terrific job in that regard. D, you were a Jacksonville guy. Bam Hardman, you mentioned, Seatric Faison, Tim Tebow. There was a while there where guys in Jacksonville went to Florida. And then there was a lull for like a decade. I don't know what happened, but Florida just seemingly stopped recruiting this area. And it appears Billy Napier has put an emphasis on that because not only Trayon, but 3 additional guys from Northeast Florida are all committed to the Gators for 2023. It's clear Billy Napier wants to get back into the Jacksonville area.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the conversations we had. Actually, the first time I talked to him, we got to win Jacksonville. We shouldn't lose nobody out of Jacksonville that we want. So, with that being said, like I tell Trayon, how we became number 1 recruiting class back 20 years ago from now, we all talk to each other during the off season. We all talk to each other during the regular season, during football season. We all took visits together. We made sure one visit out of the year, all of us was on the same visit so we could talk, change notes, swap out notes, and tell each other what our experiences at the other different schools on the visits. So he understand it. You got to recruit people to come be with you so y'all could be a great team to be able to compete for a natty. And that's what he's doing right now.
Former Florida Gator, D. Webb. D, we got about 60 seconds left, man. Let Gator fans know what you're up to these days. What's D. Webb's life like?
I have a trucking company called Prolific Transit. I also have a TV and film company with my buddy Andre Caldwell, another Gator great receiver, called Do Well TV. We actually just started a show called The Answer for commitment videos for highlighting these kids and giving them a better platform than doing what we did 20, 30 years ago, just doing a cliche in the in the gymnasium or even on in the library. So that's kind of like what we have going on. Like, I don't know if everybody's seen it. It's called Do Well TV. It's on YouTube. We did my cousin Trayon. He was the first one in the season 1 of the episode 1. You can find it on Do Well TV at YouTube.
That's perfect. No, we'll take Gator fans there. Do Well TV on YouTube for Trayon Webb's commitment. D. Webb, you say Andre Caldwell involved with that as well. D, really enjoyed the conversation, man. Let's do this again in a couple of weeks after the season gets underway, and hopefully Billy Napier and the Gators get off to a good start. Thank you, D.
All right. Thank you for having me.
And thank you to former Florida Gator D. Webb for joining us here tonight on Hacker After Dark. Really enjoyed that conversation, not only going down memory lane, but talking to D about his time with Ron Zook, with Urban Meyer, talking about his cousin Trayon Webb, who's now committed to the University of Florida. And boy, D. Webb had some really good things to say about new Florida Gator head coach Billy Napier. Well, that'll wrap it up on a Thursday night, a unbelievably busy Thursday night here on Hacker After Dark. We have a ton of people to thank, including, again, former Florida Gator D. Webb. You heard from my friend, former Jacksonville Jaguar offensive tackle Leon Searcy. You get him every day on XL Primetime, and starting September 11th, you'll get Leon and I every Jaguar regular season game 2 hours after its conclusion. Leon and I will once again have the fifth quarter here for you on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Kevin Mays, the head coach at Baker County, also joined us on the program, so we certainly appreciate talking a little high school ball with Kevin Mays, getting his perspective on the Baker County Wildcats as they get ready for another deep run into the state playoffs. And Josh Pate from Late Kick Pod, Late Kick Live, does an absolutely phenomenal job covering college football. Thank you to Josh for joining us earlier on tonight here on Hacker After Dark. We will be back on a Friday night, and we will do it all over again beginning at 8 o'clock here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the Hacker Ryan Green. And Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Thursday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark. For all of us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM, have an absolutely terrific remainder of your Thursday evening, and we will talk to you tomorrow night beginning at 8 o'clock. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS.